Welcome to the Deep Dive. We unpack the stories behind the headlines, bringing you the insights that really matter. And today, wow, we are diving into something, truly extraordinary. It just rewrote the rules. Netflix, the streaming giant. They just had their first ever #1 box office hit. Yeah, you heard that right. Netflix at the top of the box office. So today we're taking a deep dive into K-Pop Demon Hunters. This film, it just defied, well, pretty much every industry norm you can think of. Made history. Our mission. To unpack how this unique animated musical thing went from being this huge global streaming sensation to a genuine theatrical triumph. It's challenging all the old ideas about movies, music, how audiences connect. It's stuff we just haven't seen before. Now, if you haven't caught it, the film's about Huntress, this K-pop superstar trio, Rumi, Mira, Zui. But plot twist, they're secretly demon hunters, protecting their fans from this. Like, evil rival boy band. Sounds wild, I know what it is, but its impact, even bigger.
It really is unprecedented. You absolutely nailed why this is such a big deal. For a company like Netflix, right? Their whole empire is built on streaming. They often actively avoid big theatrical releases. So for them to suddenly grab the #1 spot at the traditional box office, well, it's more than just a win. It's huge. It feels like a massive shift. This isn't just about one movie doing well. It signals, maybe, a real change in how audiences behave. And it definitely challenges those old industry models.
Yeah, we're looking at a moment that kind of forces everyone to rethink how films get out there and how we watch them.
Okay, let's unpack this. This incredible rise, stream to screen, is pretty wild.
Yeah.
So the film first drops on Netflix, late June, and almost right away, you could tell this was different. Within just a few weeks, boom, one of Netflix's most popular releases ever.
Yeah, the numbers were just staggering.
Yeah, we're talking #1 on the platform in, 26 countries? And top 10 in 93 countries globally. 93?
Insane reach. And now, get this, it's officially Netflix's most watched animated original film. And people are saying it's probably going to overtake even Red Notice as their biggest movie overall. That's just a mind-blowing amount of watching, isn't it?
It really is. And what's so fascinating here, and I think really key to understanding that early success, is that it wasn't just the story or the animation, which are great, by the way. The music was this massive, massive driver. It wasn't just a movie with songs. It was like a whole musical event.
Ah, okay. So the soundtrack was a big part of it from the get-go.
Huge. Think about this. 3 original songs, Golden, Your Idol, and Soda Pop. They're currently in the Billboard Hot 100 top 10.
Wow. Top 10.
Yep. And it doesn't stop there. There are 6 more songs from the film just climbing up the charts right now. So that tells you something, right? People weren't just watching it once and forgetting it. They were seeking out the music, listening to it separately. It shows this really deep cultural impact. It went way beyond just watching. The music resonated, created its own whole fandom ecosystem.
That kind of chart power for a movie soundtrack, especially originals, is pretty rare. Suggests, like you said, a whole different level of engagement. Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me. Because Netflix, despite all the success streaming music, they've always been so strongly against wide theatrical releases, right? It's like foundational for them.
Absolutely. Almost dogma.
So what was the calculation? What made them make this, frankly, monumental exception for K-Pop Demon Hunters? Why this film?
That really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it says so much about how unique this film felt, even to them. You know, Netflix and the theater chains, they've clashed for years over those exclusive theatrical windows.
Right, the whole waiting period.
Exactly. But for this film, they did something unprecedented. Saturday and Sunday, August 24th, 25th. They put it into, somewhere between 1,700 and 1,750 theaters, North America, for special sing-along screenings.
Sing-alongs, okay.
Yeah. And the key thing here, the purpose wasn't really Oscar qualification, like they sometimes do with limited runs for, their prestige dramas. No, this was, I think, a very calculated move. Tap into that proven fan excitement that was already there and strategically drive people back to watch it again on Netflix.
Ah, so feed the streaming beast.
Kind of. It wasn't about making a box office fortune necessarily. It was more about deepening that engagement, creating this communal fan moment that then ripples back to their main platform.
And what a moment it turned out to be. So connecting this to the bigger picture, this limited 2-day event, basically a victory lap, right?
Right.
For a streaming hit. It brings in estimated $16 to $20 million in ticket sales.
Yep, that's the estimate floating around.
Which astonishingly makes K-Pop Demon Hunters Netflix's first ever #1 box office film in their entire 18-year history.
Exactly. First time ever. This is where it truly broke the mold.
Just what?
And it's really important to remember the context here. Netflix famously doesn't report its own ticket sales. So these numbers, they're coming from rival studios, industry trackers, everyone's watching.
Right.
And even more amazing, AMC, the biggest theater chain in North America, they refuse to show it.
Still mad about the release windows.
Seems like it, that ongoing friction. Yet, despite all that, no AMC, no official numbers from Netflix. It still dominated the box office.
Incredible.
Just look at the competition that weekend. It beat Weapons, which did about $15.6 million, beat Freakier Friday at $9.2 million. Fantastic Four, First Steps, only pulled in $5.9 million.
And this was during a typically slow period too, right? End of summer.
Exactly. A generally quiet finish to the summer box office, which makes this #1 spot even more striking. It just shows this raw, unstoppable demand from the fans that kind of bulldozed through the usual industry barriers.
So, stepping back then, what does this really mean? How did K-pop Demon Hunters break that mold? This whole theatrical run, it wasn't just like approved by Netflix. It feels like it was literally willed into existence by popular demand, as some reports said.
That's a great way to put it.
And the descriptions from the screenings, they sound electric. Audiences jam in the theaters, singing full volume, dancing costumes, people reciting dialogue. I loved hearing about the kids, especially, they've watched it dozens of times at home. They knew every single word.
Yeah, total immersion.
It just speaks to this, this deep craving for a collective experience. People wanted to share their love for this thing together in person, which kind of pushes back on that narrative that theaters are dead, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
It shows they offer something streaming just can't replicate, no matter how convenient it is. It's like listening to a song alone versus being at a live concert.
That's a perfect analogy. And it points straight to this potentially new model for marketing and distribution. Remember, Sony Pictures Animation produced this. They did Spider-Verse, right? So quality animation pedigree.
Right, they know their stuff.
But the film got this massive boost from just organic word of mouth, building and building on Netflix. That's the game changer. Think about traditional movies. They spend millions, sometimes hundreds of millions, on marketing before opening weekend, just to get people aware.
Yeah, that massive upfront push.
K-pop Demon Hunters didn't really need that in the same way. Streaming gave it breathing room. Time to find its audience, build that massive fan base through repeat views, online buzz.
Let it simmer first.
Exactly. Like, remember Disney's Encanto? It did okay in theaters, but then it hit Disney Plus and exploded.
Yeah.
Especially the music.
Oh yeah, Bruno was everywhere.
Right. Or even think about RRR, that Indian film. Became this huge global phenomenon on Netflix way after its initial theatrical run. People were demanding special screenings. It's about building the hit first, letting that community form, then giving them a way to celebrate it together publicly. It just flips that old marketing funnel right on its head.
Totally flips it. And for me, this is where it really gets to the core of how it broke the mold for the musical genre itself. It's not just a successful movie that happens to have music. It feels like a genuinely modern musical because it created its own hits from scratch.
That's a crucial distinction.
It's not leaning on, a built-in Broadway fan base like Wicked or the Mean Girls musical movie. It's not recycling old chart toppers like Wonka did or using a jukebox approach like Moulin Rouge.
No ABBA covers here.
Right. Instead, it met young, music-savvy fans right where they live. It tapped directly into what people call the age of parasocial pop obsession,
That intense fan connection.
Yeah, that connection fans feel with pop stars. And it used TikTok culture, creating these original K-pop style earworms that just clicked instantly.
Yeah.
They became hits on their own terms. It just understood what a modern audience actually wants to listen to and share.
And that deep understanding, that connection, it leads right back to why Netflix made this unusual strategic move.
Yeah.
This really was, let's be honest, a rare thing for them. A unicorn event, you could say.
A unicorn? I like that.
Because Netflix runs on data, right? Their whole approach is data-driven. They knew they had a guaranteed hit. They had proof of success. They saw that massive, passionate audience already built in. They knew people would pay to see it again together.
It wasn't a gamble.
Not really, no. They had the numbers. The demand was obvious. But, and this is important, let's be clear about what this means for the future. We probably shouldn't expect this to become the new normal for every Netflix movie.
Right. Don't expect Train Dreams sing-alongs next week.
Exactly. Or even Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. This needed that very specific perfect storm, huge existing fan engagement, something super rewatchable and interactive, and that undeniable chart-crushing music. It was unique, and Netflix played it smart for this specific film.
Okay, so summing up the just incredible impact here, K-Pop Demon Hunters.
Mm.
It showed the sheer power of fan engagement, how a dedicated audience can literally, like, pull a film into theaters.
Fan power.
It also proved this whole new model. Build a massive hit on streaming first, then take that theatrical victory lap to let fans celebrate together.
A new playbook, maybe.
And maybe most importantly, it redefined what a successful modern musical can be, creating its own original contemporary hits for today's audience. Not just relying on the past, it really did break the mold. Multiple molds, actually.
It really did.
Yeah.
Which leaves us with a big question, maybe a provocative one, for Hollywood, for the whole industry. Will they actually learn the real lessons here? Will they see the value in that organic streaming-fueled buzz, the power of the shared experience theaters still offer? And maybe the biggest lesson, that untapped hunger for new contemporary music and musicals. Or will they just write this off, see it as a fluke, one-off anomaly, and just go back to chasing the same old formulas? That's the real question. Is this a blueprint or just lightning in a bottle? What really stands out to you listening to this? What do you think it all means for where movies and music might be heading? Something to think about.